Hello, class ninth. How are you all? So, we have been studying chapter number 6. Yes, chapter number 6. The name of chapter number 6 is tissue. And last time we studied about permanent tissue, and we also had gone through the chart of the plant tissue. So, kids, you know that tissue is a group of cells having similar structure and function. Yes, tissue is a group of cell having similar structure and function. Am I right? And or you can say that tissue is a group of cell which performs specific function. And in human beings, the cell of the muscular tissue contract and release and help in the movement. Yes, these cells make the different tissue which help us in many ways. And you know that plant tissues are two type. Yes, meristematic tissue, MERISTEMATIC. Yes, MERISTEMATIC. Meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. Yes. So there are two type of plant tissue. So meristematic tissues can be divided into three categories: apical tissues, intercalary tissues, and lateral tissue. Yes, apical, intercalary, lateral tissue. Okay, and permanent tissue can be divided into two categories: simple permanent tissue, complex permanent. So, which are the simple permanent tissue? Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. And complex permanent tissues are xylem and phloem. So, we have already studied about meristematic tissue and simple permanent tissue. Okay. Today, we will study about complex tissue, which are actually xylem and phloem. Yes, complex xylem and phloem are actually complex tissue. And they are also categorized into different category. Yes, xylem tissue is made of four type of cell: xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber, and we can say that they have trachea. Yes, xylem tissue is made of four cells. Sorry, I think I have little problem in throat. So xylem tissue can be divided into four category. Means xylem have four cells. Xylem have four cells. Which cell? Xylem fiber, xylem parenchyma, trachea. And if I talk about phloem also have phloem tissue also have four cell. Means it is made up of four cell. Which are the four cell? Which are the four cell? Phloem fiber, phloem parenchyma, sieve tube, and companions. These four cell. So I hope you understood. And last time we studied about meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Yes. So meristematic tissues, as you know, that meristematic tissues are found in the growing region of the plant. Yes, meristematic tissues are found in the growing region of the plants, like the tip of the root, stem, branches, and they divide continuously and help in the growth of the plant. They are of three type: apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue. Yes, and apical are present in the tip of the stem and root, and they help in the growth of the stem and root. And if I talk about the lateral meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissues are present in the side of stem and root. They help to increase the girth of the stems and root. Okay, And intergallery meristematic tissue. Intergallery meristematic tissues are present at the base of leaves and internode and help in the growth of those parts. Okay, and we also studied about the permanent tissue. Yes, as you can see in the picture. Yes, there are three type of permanent tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Okay, as you can see in the picture, there are three type of permanent tissue. So what are permanent tissue? What are permanent tissue? What do you mean by permanent tissue? So permanent tissues are formed from meristematic tissue. Yes, permanent tissues are formed from meristematic tissue, and they do not divide. Yes, they do not divide and have permanent shape and size. Yes, they have permanent shape and size, and they differentiate into different types of permanent tissue. Permanent tissue are of two main types. They are simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Yes. So today we will study about complex permanent tissue. So what are simple permanent tissue? What are simple permanent tissue? So simple permanent tissues are made up of one type of cell. Yes, they have simple cell means one type of cell, and they are of three type called parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. And let's talk about parenchyma. Okay, kids, let's talk about parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Then we will study about xylem and phloem. So parenchyma actually consists of loosely packed thin walled cell. Yes, parenchyma consists of loosely packed thin walled cell having more intercellular spaces, and some parenchyma cells in leaves, some parenchyma cells in leaves contain chloroplasts. They are known as chlorenchyma. Okay, and also prepare food by photosynthesis. Okay, parenchyma. And some parenchyma cells have large air cavity which help the plant to float on water. Yes, they are known as aeronchyma. So we can say that aeronchyma, they have large air space among the cells. And um, if we talk about the chlorenchyma, they contain chloroplasts, so help in preparing the food. And some parenchyma cells are the some parenchyma cells of roots and stems store water and mineral. Okay. And if we talk about collenchyma, then we can say that it consists of elongated cells having less intercellular space and thicker at the corners. They give flexibility and allow easy bending of different parts like stem, leaf, etc. And they also give mechanical support to the plant. Okay. And sclerenchyma, if you talk about the sclerenchyma consists of long, narrow, and dead thick wall cell. Yes, they consist of long, narrow, dead thick wall cell. And the cell wall contains lignin, a chemical substance. What is lignin? Lignin is a chemical substance which act like a cement and hardens them. It gives strength and hardness to the plant part. I hope you understood. Now let's talk about complex permanent tissue. Let's move on the next point. Okay kids, complex permanent tissue. Yes, complex permanent tissue. As you can see the picture, there are two type of complex permanent tissue, xylem and phloem. Look, I have shown two pictures. First picture, these are xylem, and in second picture, these are phloem. Okay, phloem I have shown in dark green color, and xylem I have shown in light green color. Okay, you can see. So complex permanent tissue. What are complex permanent tissue? Complex permanent tissues are made up of more than one type of cell. Yes, You know that in simple permanent tissue there is only one type of cell, but in complex permanent tissue there are more than one type of cell, means two or more than two. Okay, and there are two types of complex permanent tissue. They are xylem and phloem. Okay, and these tissues are also known as vascular tissue, or you can say these tissues are also known as conducting tissue. Yes, these tissues are also known as xylem tissue, or you can say these tissues are also known as vascular tissue. Okay, they means they are actually vascular bundle, means they have vessels, pipe, tubes, so which help conducting food and water. So let's find out which conduct the food and which conduct the water. Well, kids, if you have remember, you might have, mm, if you try to rememorize, then um, you know that we studied about xylem and phloem in 8th class also. Yes, we studied about xylem and phloem in 8th class also, but not in detail. But now we are going to study in detail. So, xylem. Xylem consists of tracheids, vessel, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fiber. Yes. So xylem tissue made of four type of cell. Yes. Xylem tissue is made of four type of cell. Which are the cell? Tracheids, vessels means tracheae. Vessels means tracheae. What is the spelling of tracheae? Trachea. Trachea. So tracheids, vessels means tracheae, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. Yes, these are for xylem cell, xylem fiber, xylem parenchyma, trachea means vessel, and the tracheids and vessels help to transport water and mineral from roots to all part of the plant. Yes, the tracheids and vessels. What is the function of tracheid and vessel? They help to transport water and mineral from roots to all part of the plant. Okay, and if we talk about the tracheae, if we talk about the tracheae means vessels, they transport the water vertically. Yes, and if I talk about xylem parenchyma transport water horizontally. Yes, tracheae transport water vertically, xylem parenchyma transport water horizontally, and xylem parenchyma also stores food and fibers which help in support, right? And xylem parenchyma store food and also provide support. And if we talk about xylem fiber, it also supportive in nature. Xylem fiber is also supportive in nature, and provide flexibility. Okay, so I hope you understood about xylem. Now let's talk about phloem. Okay, phloem. So kids, phloem consists of sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fiber. Yes, phloem consists of sieve tubes, companion cell, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fiber. Yes. So, what is the work of sieve tube and companion cell? Sieve tube and companion cell transport food from leaves to all part of the plant. Yes, they transport the food. And what is the work of phloem parenchyma? Phloem parenchyma store food and fiber, help in support. If we talk about phloem fiber, it provides flexibility, and if we particularly if we talk about sieve tube, they are tubular found in tubular structure, and they help in transporting starch, protein like this. Okay, and phloem parenchyma store the food. Okay, so I hope you understood about xylem and phloem. So what is xylem? Xylem consists of tracheae means vessel, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. The tracheae are vessel help to transport water and mineral from root to all part of plant. Xylem parenchyma store food and fiber help in support. And phloem consists of sieve tube, companion cell, phloem, parenchyma, and phloem fiber. The sieve tubes and companion cell transports food from leaves to all part of the plant. Phloem parenchyma stores food and fibers help in support. Okay. So now plant tissue completed. Okay. We have completed plant tissue. Now we will study animal tissue. Now we will study animal tissue. Let's move on the next point. Okay, kids, let's talk about animal tissue. So, you already know the difference between plant tissue and animal tissue? Yes, you already know. So, you know that plant tissue, if we talk about plant tissue, and you know that plants do not move from place to place. Why? Because their most of the cells are dead and provide mechanical strength and mechanical support and strength. And so we can say most of the tissues consist of dead cell because they provide mechanical support and strength. And the growth of plants take place only in some regions. So plants have tissue called meristematic tissue, which divide and help in growth, and permanent tissue which do not divide. Okay. And if we talk about animal tissue, animals move from one place to place, so we can say they have living cells and they need more energy in comparison to plants. Yes, plants need less energy, animals need more energy. Yes, and so most of the cell in tissues are in animals are living. Okay, and if we talk about the growth in plants is uniform, but the growth in animal is non sorry, my mistake. The growth in plant is non-uniform and the growth in animal is uniform. Okay, animals have organs having a specialized function. Yes, and so the organ have specialized tissue. Okay, so as you can see that animal tissues are four main types. Yes, there are four type of animal tissue. There are four types of animal tissue: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue, and nervous tissue. Yes, there are four type of animal tissue: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, nervous tissue. Epithelial, connective, muscular, nervous. But in plants, there are only two type of tissue. Yes, meristematic tissue and meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. In plants there are only two type of tissue: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. But in animal there are four type of tissues: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue, and nervous tissue. Yes, so about we will study about nervous tissue but not in detail. Okay, we will not study in detail, but when you will go in higher class, that time you will study in detail. Okay, let's talk about epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue can be categorized into four part. Means there are four type of epithelial tissue. There are four type of epithelial tissue. Yes, squamous tissue, columnar tissue, cuboidal tissue, and glandular tissue. Yes, squamous tissue, columnar tissue, cuboidal tissue, glandular tissue. Squamous. What is the spelling of squamous? S Q Squamous, squamous tissue. What is the spelling of columnar? Columnar, columnar. Cuboidal tissue, Cuboidal, cuboidal tissue. Glandular tissue, Glandular, glandular tissue. And there is one more epithelial tissue, ciliated. Well, it is not given. So these are for epithelial tissue. What is the spelling of epithelial? I did not ask you, but now I am asking, what is the spelling of epithelial? Yes, the spelling of epithelial is Epithelial, epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue is found in different types: squamous tissue, cuboidal tissue, columnar tissue, glandular tissue, ciliated tissue. And now muscular tissue. Muscular tissue can be categorized into three parts. Yes, there are three type of muscular tissue. First is striated, unstriated, and cardiac. Striated, unstriated, cardiac means striated means smooth tissue, unstriated means skeletal tissue, and cardiac tissue. So we can say there are three animal tissue: striated tissue, unstriated tissue, and cardiac tissue. Or you can say smooth tissue, skeletal tissue, and cardiac tissue. Yes, smooth tissue, skeletal tissue, and cardiac tissue. And if we talk about the connective tissue, there are many type of connective tissue. Yes, so connective tissues are blood, bone, ligaments, tendon, cartilage, areolar, adipose. Yes, these are connective tissue. So blood, you know the spelling of blood, blood. Bone, bone. Bone is also a tissue. Yes, isn't it amazing? Blood is a tissue, bone is a tissue. Ligaments, ligaments, ligaments. Cartilage, cartilage tissue, cartilage, cartilage. Areolar, areolar, areolar. And adipose, adipose, adipose. Okay, so these are the types. And the last tissue is nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is actually made of neuron. Yes, nervous tissue is made of neuron. What is the spelling of neuron? Neurons, neurons. Nervous tissue is made of neuron. So I hope you understood. There are four type of epithelial tissue: squamous, columnar, cuboidal, glandular. And muscular tissue is striated, unstriated, cardiac. What is the spelling of striated? Striated, striated, striated. And unstriated, unstriated. And cardiac, cardiac. And connective tissues are blood, bone, ligaments, tendon, cartilage, areolar, adipose, and nervous tissue. Okay, now let's move on the next point. Okay kids, now as you can see the picture, different type of muscular tissue. These are actually muscular tissue. Okay, I'm going to show today some pictures. Okay, then in next class I will explain in detail about all these. So these are three type of muscular tissues which are present in our muscles. Muscles contract and relax when we move our hand back. Our muscles contract, and when we stretch our hand, that time our muscles come to the rest position. So you can see the first picture: smooth muscles, Second, at the bottom, look at the bottom, smooth muscles, these are smooth muscles. And second muscles are skeletal muscles, yes, which are actually in the form of cylinder. At the center picture you can see, which is actually skeletal muscle. Okay. And last picture you can see cardiac muscles, yes. So these are three type of muscles: smooth muscles, skeletal muscle, cardiac muscles. It's smooth muscles are also known as unstriated muscles. Skeletal muscles are known as striated muscles, and last muscles are cardiac, which are also striated. So these are three type of muscular tissues. These are three type of muscular tissues, or you can say muscles, so which you help in movement. One more picture you can see at the top. Yeah, okay, you can see the picture of a human body. Can you see the picture of human body? So just near the human body you can see the different type of cell, which is the actual structure. The top picture is actually cardiac muscular cell, and middle picture is skeletal, and last is smooth muscle cell, as you can see in the picture. So we have different type of muscular tissues. And if we talk about the component of blood, there are different type of component of blood. Let's see the picture. Let's move on the next point. Okay, so you can see the blood coming out from vessel. You can see the pipeline structure. Yes, can you see the pipeline structure? This pipeline structure is actually blood vessel. Yes, this is a blood vessel, and we have two type of blood vessels: arteries and veins. You know about them. So from this blood vessel, blood is coming out. Yes, this is actually blood. The picture that you are watching right now on your screen, that is actually blood. Yes, the picture that you are watching, that is actually blood. Okay, yeah, it is blood. So you can see the red disc like structure, that is, these are actually red blood cells. So in blood, as you know that blood is a connective tissue. Yes, blood, what is blood? Blood is a connective tissue, and which contains different type of cell, like red blood cell, which are in red color, as you can see. Can you see brown structure, little bit brown structure? Can you see? That is actually white blood cell. Yes. You, if you can see violet brown color structure, violet brown, that is actually white blood cell. Yes. And if you see some chocolatey color structure, if you can see chocolatey color structure, these are actually platelets, and the liquid is actually plasma. So there are different type of cells present in the blood, red blood cells, or you can also call red blood corpuscles, white blood cells, or you can also call white blood corpuscles, and plasma. Okay, and platelets, plasma, platelets. Plasma is a fluid in which all these reside. Okay, so I hope you understood about the component of blood. Now let's move on the last point. Okay, it's time to ask question from you. Question number one. Write the name of different types of animal tissue. Write the name of different types of animal tissue. So animal tissue can be divided into four category. Yes, animal tissue can be divided into four category: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue, and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue can be divided into different categories. There are different type of epithelial tissue: squamous tissue, columnar tissue, cuboidal tissue, glandular, glandular tissue. Yeah, the name is little bit strange, isn't it? Funny name. Glandular tissue, ciliated tissue. Okay, and muscular tissues are striated, unstriated, cardiac, and connective tissues are blood tissue. Blood is a tissue. Bone is also a tissue. Ligaments, tendons, cartilage, areolar, and adipose. Yes, these are the connective tissue, and last tissue is nervous tissue. There are no parts of nervous tissue. Okay. Question number 2. What are xylem and phloem tissue? Explain. Yes, xylem and phloem tissue. Xylem and phloem are actually complex tissue. Yes. And these are made of more than one type of cell. So xylem consists of 4 type of cell, and phloem also consists of 4 type of cell. Which are the 4 type of cell in xylem? Xylem consists of 4 types of cell: xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber, tracheids, tracheae. Okay, xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber, tracheids, tracheae. Tracheae means vessel. So xylem consists of tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber. The tracheids and vessels help to transport water, minerals from root to whole part of the plant. Xylem parenchyma stores food, and fibers help in support. And phloem consists of sieve tubes, companion cell, phloem parenchyma, phloem fiber. Okay, the sieve tubes, and in xylem the tracheids and vessel help to transport water and mineral from root to whole part of plant. But in phloem the sieve tube and companion cell transport food. Yes, in phloem sieve tube and companion cell transporting food, but in xylem tracheids and tracheae transporting water and mineral. And what is the work of xylem parenchyma? Xylem parenchyma store food and fiber help in support. Yes, but in phloem parenchyma store food and fiber and help in support. That is the difference. Okay. Now last question. Question number 4. Draw the diagram of following: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem and phloem. Yes, kids, you will have to practice the diagrams of parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem, because any diagram can come in exam. Yes, any diagram. Mostly 99% parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma will be asked by the examiner. Okay, I hope you will practice them. Now only few topics are remaining. Next class we will complete the lecture. We'll meet in next class. Till then, bye bye.